This news update is brought to you by...
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Your happiness will be connected to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow.
This is the Barbados Today afternoon news update for Thursday, August 6. I am Mary-Claire Williams. Thank you for joining us. Topping the news, mere hours after police reported that Vincent Lane of Farm Road, St. Philip was missing, his body was discovered near Bushy Park in the same parish. 66-year-old Lane was last seen at his home yesterday between 8 and 8:30 a.m. Lane, a farmer and a popular voice on local call-in radio programs, was no stranger to tragedy. He lost his two sons, Neil and Kurt, in a drowning incident almost 2 decades ago. Still in St. Philip, quick action by members of the fire service averted disaster at the Mangrove depot of the Barbados Transport Board this morning. A bushfire, which started just outside the depot, quickly spread to the compound. The fire destroyed one bus, but Corporate Communications Manager Linda Holder told Barbados Today the old bus was no longer in commission. She praised the fire service for its quick response. In other news, an educator is raising concern that while Barbados has invested in providing schools with technology, it is falling behind its Caribbean neighbors when it comes to using that technology. The matter was raised by retired Deputy Principal at Erdiston Teachers Training College, Winston Mayers. He was addressing an Aline School alumni-sponsored panel discussion on the impact of technology and social media on education last evening.
Our attempt through that program, the Education Sector Enhancement Program, was to make sure that we in Barbados utilize what technologies were available. I should also say this, that within the Caribbean region at the time when we were actually setting off at Erdiston, we had some consultants from Canada, England, who felt at the time that Barbados was ahead of the Caribbean. However, I must say that we stagnated somewhat to the point where we are aware now that some Caribbean islands are even ahead of us. However, I should say this, that I still think we are doing well in our country. For example, when I went to Iowa, I attempted to get a telephone card, only to learn that they did not have telephone cards in Iowa. I couldn't believe it. In fact, when I also visited some schools in the States, I realized that some schools did not have the computers like we had. So I am saying that as a country, we have been trying our best through CDB, IDB, and the government of Barbados to place technology in the hands of our children.
Meanwhile, a UWI tutor contends that social media and other forms of modern electronic technology do more good than harm. Camilla Cadogan, who recently acquired a master's in graduate forensic psychology, said various forms of electronic media, including social media, can boost the learning experience. She shared examples from her classes at UWI.
I find that it boosts student interaction when they use the technology like this, because it's what they're accustomed to, and they're more engaged when technology is involved. When I'm tutoring, I'm a tutor, a part-time tutor at UWI as well in forensic psychology, and the semester before, when the project was, they had to do a poster, and yes, technology would have been involved for them to do the research, but this semester, the presentation had to be in PowerPoint format. And when I thought about how involved the students were and engaged, the difference between the poster presentation and the PowerPoint presentation, which was using full technology, and the difference in how excited they were about presenting the different topics. It was a vast difference. In the PowerPoints, they made use of videos. They had links to YouTube videos. And they were much more excited about what they were presenting as opposed to when they just had this poster and they had to stand up and present.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you.
in my hand, yeah. My Barbados, my bank. Got to understand, yeah. My Barbados, my bank. Ain't nothing like a cool bank spare. None of them others just can't compare. You just got to love that taste. It's the world-class thing this land makes. Whether I'm cruising or at a bar, whether I'm at home, my bank spare is never far. For this blessing, got to give God thanks. My Barbados, my bank.
To regional news now, Antigua's Prime Minister Gaston Brown has rejected an offer from the Immigration Minister, Stedroy Benjamin, to step aside temporarily to allow for an independent probe into U.S. complaints of human trafficking and migrant smuggling of Syrians out of Antigua. The opposition United Progressive Party and other groups had called for Benjamin's head, accusing the minister and the Immigration Department of being involved in the racket. But Prime Minister Brown challenges the opposition to bring the evidence. He insisted the UPP was trying to spin the issue to make the government look bad. Brown says investigations have been ongoing for several months. Benjamin maintains his innocence and says the Immigration Department did absolutely nothing wrong. On the world scene, some of the relatives of the missing passengers who were on board flight MH370 are angry at the government's confirmation that the piece of wreckage found on Reunion Island is from the plane. Many refuse to believe it, saying the decision has been made too quickly on too little evidence. The Malaysian Prime Minister has conclusively confirmed that the piece of wing which washed up is from the missing flight. But French investigators stopped short of confirming the link, only saying it was highly likely. More in this report from the BBC.
Angry and bewildered, a group of relatives gathered outside the Beijing offices of Malaysian Airlines this morning. They'd come to make it clear that they do not believe what they're being told. What does one piece of wreckage even mean? This woman says, adding, I want the truth. But while the families refuse to accept it, Australia has been continuing its painstaking search of the southern Indian Ocean. The evidence, based on satellite data, is strong. And while the island where the section of wing washed up is 2,500 miles from the search area, because of the ocean currents, its discovery is being seen as an indication that they are searching in the right place.
What we have found in the Western Indian Ocean does seem to indicate that the plane did come down more or less where we thought it did, and it suggests that for the first time we might be a little bit closer to solving this baffling mystery.
But the families don't feel that way. Their doubts have been compounded by the often conflicting information from the Malaysian authorities, and perhaps, given China's heavily politicized media, a mistrust of official information in general.
And that's the afternoon update. We'll be back this evening. But until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also, tune in to Channel 101 on Line TV and Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I am Maricla Williams. Good afternoon.